guys, Levi here, just back with a quick video. Today we're talking about how much gear do you actually need. There's so many different lenses out there, so many different types of bodies, microphones, camera bags, ND filters, tripods. How much gear do you actually need to get the job done? So when people talk about versatile lenses, they often talk about things like the 24-70, 70 to 200, and going back to something like the 16 to 35 millimeter sort of focal length. I shoot with a lot of primes. I prefer primes for a couple of different reasons, in particular the f-stop, the lower f-stop that they often provide. But the great thing that zoom lenses give you, and constant aperture zooms in particular, is that they are very versatile. So here I'm shooting on the 16 to 35, and I'm able to go very wide like this, get a very wide shot, also move in quite close and get a shot that still fits a reasonable amount of things in the shot. So it's a very versatile lens, and I use it for a lot of video, shooting in a room. You can get a really wide angle look, but also shooting portraits or something like that, you can get a very natural looking focal length. So looking at what body you need, could pretty much make another whole video about what body's best for you, but just finding something that works, something that meets your budget, and then looking at lenses, depends what you're shooting. Really, so if you're a sports photographer or videographer, for example, shooting surf or stuff at a field, you're going to want a lot of zoom. So you're going to want something that gives you a really good close-up of that person who's potentially very far away. Something like a 70 to 200 would be good in that situation, quite versatile, or a 1 to 400, or something in that sort of length as well. If you're shooting portraits, you might want a 24 to 70. Because it gives you a great focal length of 70 up close, and then also a nice wide 24 without too much distortion and things like that, causing the image to look warped in any way. So for me, I shoot a lot of portraits, shoot a lot of commercial photography of people, some weddings, some family stuff, and so my go-to lens has actually been the 24 to 35 Sigma Art Series f2. It's not a prime, but what it does is gives me a really great focal length with regards to being able to shoot wide at 24 and fit a lot of people in a photo, or shoot at 35 and get that really classic 35 millimeter portrait look for photos. Paired with an 85 millimeter goes really well, and then looking further into something like 70 to 200 for those shots if I'm slightly further away. That's sort of my basic setup. Looking at video, it's sort of slightly different. So often we'll use something more like a 16 to 35 for video. It gives you a lot more of a versatile look. Shooting really wide through a room can look really great, and then going through to a 35 gives you like a really great mid shot of someone. You can shoot in a small space and still make it look really good. And then switching to something like a 70 to 200 for subjects that are further away, or if you're shooting like in a church or you're shooting a conference or something like that, to get a close-up of a person, often setting up a dual camera setup to be able to get different angles or things like that. And that for us pretty much covers all the bases. So how much gear do you need? What do you need to shoot what you need to shoot, to be successful, to sort of cover all your bases? Really, you need to look at what you're shooting. So whether you're going to be close or far away from your subject, you need to look at what sort of settings you're going to be in. So you're going to be inside or outside. What's the lighting like? Do you need to shoot in a low f-stop? If not, then you may not need to get a prime lens, because it may restrict you with being able to move and zoom from one set stationary point. So they're all the things to consider when you're looking at what gear you want to buy, where you want to invest, and what you want to upgrade to. So really, when you're starting out, if you want to be able to have one body and one lens, and make that work for you the best you can, and that's why often things like a 24 to 70 millimeter are a great choice, because they do cover that whole mid-range zoom to wide section, and sort of really does a great job of that. So if you have any questions about gear in particular, drop a comment down below, and I'll hopefully be able to answer any questions that you do have. But really, it's just about picking something that works for you, that sort of ticks all the boxes and meets the requirements of the thing that you're shooting. Whether it's photos or video, maybe you want image stabilization, or maybe you want to rig up an ND filter, or maybe you don't need to. So they're all the things to consider. There's so many different options out there, so many different brands. Some are sharper than others, some are more expensive than others, and really just it's up to you and what you require for the space, the subject, and the time that you're shooting. So drop a comment below if you have any questions about any gear that I use, and about gear that you may be interested in or wanting to purchase as well. So thanks for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys next week.